and she watched it, and she's just like, that makes a lot more sense than what they're telling us. And, why is it that we have, triple the heroin, double the cocaine on the streets? I mean, Kevin, your film really lays it out that, they use dupes like Ricky Ross to funnel in their drugs.
Absolutely, but I'd like to just start by saying that I had the pleasure of seeing the AKA Tommy Chong film several months ago, and it's an incredible film. It's a much more personal view than my film is, but I definitely recommend anybody that's gotten anything out of watching American Drug War, which you can get at AmericanDrugWar.com. I definitely recommend that you go to akatommychong.com right now and get a copy of that DVD before the government takes the rest of them. But no, you're right, and making dupes out of Ricky Ross. But it's also important to factor in the whole pharmaceutical complex on this deal. 60 Minutes ran a story about a Bayer drug that is responsible, and the FDA has known that this drug called Tyradol has been killing literally thousands of people a month. It's a drug that they use during open heart surgery, and yet they allow that. Now, those people, they're not going to get charged with domestic terrorism, even though they're responsible for more deaths per year than all illegal drugs combined. Meanwhile, they're locking up people, putting them in prison work camps for growing a plant. A plant which, by the way, was part of the founding of this country, a plant that has been used medicinally for tens of thousands of years, and it's a very important factor of why marijuana is at the nexus of this whole thing. Because if they take marijuana out of the drug war equation, there's just not enough of heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, crystal meth, and all that to keep this whole drug war prison complex afloat. Because 85% of all illegal drug users only smoke marijuana. And so that's why marijuana has to be kept Schedule 1. And that's one of the biggest scams that I would, hope to see changed in my lifetime, along with the legalization of medical marijuana across the board. But we have to get marijuana taken out of Schedule 1.
I'm with you there, but it'll be harder for them to push their brave new world on this society if they do that. I mean, they've got the people so drugged up on things like Prozac and Ritalin. It is almost like people are walking through society in like a consumerist daze. You wonder why, the mall culture is so big and why people don't really know what's going on in this country. It's because they're on Ritalin.
I know, and I'm at the point, too, where I'm sitting there, I'm here in Beverly Hills going, hey, wow, honey, look, gas is only $4.60. What a good deal. God, we're so lucky. And meanwhile, I turn on the news, and it's like 12 cents a gallon in Venezuela. Oops. It's the same with, pharmaceutical and healthcare in Canada and other countries, just like the Michael Moore film pointed out. I mean, as Americans, we're being raped in every direction now.
Absolutely. Tommy, what's your view on the general populace right now? Are they just totally in a daze? Are they coming around? What do you think?
Well, there's always a percentage. I look at it like in the music world. The people that are turned on are like jazz lovers. They're the tip of the iceberg, and then it goes down. During the '60s, we had there's a massive turn on of people, and then slowly that eroded. Went back to the alcohol fueled good old boy kind of thing, and I feel that. The world, the universe is perfect. We're going through an enlightenment, and right now we're talking, the people that are on the panel right now, we're ahead of everybody. We're the leaders, but there's millions of people out there that are looking for the truth, and They obviously can't find it with religion. Religion is another controlling mind set, to use to control people to get them to do their biddings. Mm-hmm. That was the thing about marijuana. Marijuana gives you a choice. And I do this in my show. I said, for the first-time user, that feeling you get that kind of scares you, mm-hmm. It's called an original thought. It's a thought that comes from within. It doesn't come from television or your teacher or your parents, or it's an original thought, and enough people are coming around, that has those thoughts, and you can tell by the consumers. You can tell by how many people are buying Priuses. You know, so my view is very, very optimistic, because this again, you know, this is a perfect planet we live on, and we can't. We think we can damage it, but we can't. You look at the tsunamis and you look at the cyclones. You know, if nature wants to wipe us all out, nature will do that. And if it gets to that point, that's exactly what will happen. But the people that are left, the people, you know, the meek shall inherit the earth, and that's us.
Well, I hope you're right. I mean, I got to tell you, the way I look at it, the ruling class really doesn't want an informed populace. That's what they're working against. And we don't have really a massive informed populace. Like you said, we are the leaders. We are the top of the food chain right now, trying to inform others, and that's why I think people need to see films like A.K.A. Tommy Chong, American Drug War, you know, Alex Jones's Endgame, my film, Loose Change Final Cut, because they do open your mind, and you can share them with others, and then you can create a change in this country.
Yeah. And by the way, there would be no need for our activism if they never raided our warehouse, for instance, you know. If they never raided our warehouse, we would be limping along trying to convince people that there's a boogeyman, but now that's how it works, you know. Good old Mary Beth Loose Cannon, you know, she come in there and she just keeps this AKA film alive and well, and it's going to go all over the country, because when you tell people they're not supposed to see something, that's when they want to see it.
Absolutely.
Can I ask Josh? We haven't heard from Josh yet.
Sure.
Josh, can you tell us about Mary Beth's relationship to the drug czar John Walters?
Can you?
Well, I mean, it's in your
question.
film. I mean, she worked alongside of him. I mean, weren't the two of them kind of together in that Operation Pipe Dreams? I just think it's also interesting. Maybe you could comment about how Operation Pipe Dreams. Well, it just sounds like the Cheech and Chong movie that we never got to see.
You have any closing statements, Tommy?
Well, I just want everybody, you know, to you know, get the AKA Tommy Chong. You know, I can talk forever, but the film itself really speaks volumes and volumes and volumes, because it's more than just, you know, how bad these people are acting. What it really shows, and it's just like the 9/11 thing, you know, it shows how insane these people are, and I think they've gone insane because of the food they're eating. You know, these are victims of their own demise in a sense. You know,
and probably the prescription drugs that they take.
Yeah, the prescription drugs and the alcohol they consume. Look at Dick Cheney; he's a good example. You know, so you know, check out the film and tell. I want everybody, you know, really to just take a deep breath and just enjoy this universe, because one thing I learned in jail, man, anything can happen to you at any time.
All right, can you guys just hold over for one more segment till the top of the hour?
Sure.
All right, awesome. We'll be back with Tommy Chong and Kevin Booth. All right, it is the Alex Jones Show. We are back with Tommy Chong and Kevin Booth, as well as Josh Gilbert and Matt Stevens of A.K.A. Tommy Chong. You can get American Drug War over at Infowars.com. And, Tom, you were just finishing up a story about what you learned in prison. After that, I'd like you to talk about maybe the hypocrisy of those that smoke pot. And, I mean, there's millions of people in this country that smoke pot. I've heard a story that you used to hang out with Schwarzenegger, work out with him, smoke pot with him, but when you got picked up, he didn't want anything to do with you, and he wouldn't even talk to you. So if you could talk about that after the prison story.
No, Arnold wouldn't take my call. Yeah, I've known Arnold since he got off the boat. In fact, we used to teach him bad English. We'd teach him what to say to girls, you know, and then he'd get his face slapped, and then he'd catch on. But yeah, Arnold, I knew pot was good for you for a few reasons. Number one, every Mr. Universe when they were natural, you know, before they got into steroids, and even after they got into steroids, that was the only thing they would do. They would do pot. They wouldn't do alcohol. They wouldn't do anything else, but they would smoke pot. And then, and the most intelligent ones, you know. there's like I won't name them, you know, but
but there's definitely that meathead mentality in that.
Yeah, no, these are like guys with degrees, you know, these are brilliant people, and they're so fussy about their diet. They won't eat chicken if it's got a little bit of skin on it, you know. They're very, very healthy. They'll drink only water. You know, they want only pure things in their body. But the only recreational relaxant they do is marijuana. And then I just found out this recently, but the National Basketball League, the NBA, the players said, you can test us for anything, steroids, alcohol, anything, but don't test us for marijuana. If you do that, there won't be a league. There won't be the NBA, because everybody in the NBA smokes pot.
Yeah, it's pretty well known.
I smoked many times with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem extended his playing career 7 years because he was in such good shape. And a lot of that you can attribute to marijuana. I'm almost 70 years old, and I've got the body of a 69-year-old, you know.
Well, you always were in shape back in the day. I mean, that was one of the big things. Even you and Cheech were both in great shape.